This bit on supervision of regulated activities is sponsored by Examinator Online, the platform to go to for SFC exam practice questions. Now, supervision of regulated activities can be examined in many ways, including the many distinctions between licensed corporations and registered institutions. So this bit is going to look at the difference between licensed corporation and registered institutions, who supervises them, who regulates them, and to start with, what the 10 regulated activities that the SFC regulate are. Because if you are involved in one or more of these activities, you must either be licensed by the SFC or registered with the SFC, and we're about to find out the difference between those two. The first three regulated activities are the dealing activities, dealing in securities, dealing in futures contracts, and leveraged foreign exchange trading, which is over the counter, one-to-one. The leveraged foreign exchange contracts are not traded on an exchange, as strange as that may sound. The next three regulated activities are the advising activities, advising on securities, advising on futures contracts, and advising on corporate finance, number 6 being the world of listings, mergers, and takeovers. And then we have 4 ad hoc activities, providing automated trading services. Now that is trading services, trading systems that are operated in-house. They are proprietary trading systems operated by a firm, and that system has to be licensed by the SFC with a Type 7 license. Type 8, securities margin financing. That is the lending of money to investors to enable them to buy listed securities. And often the listed securities purchased are given as collateral to the lender. And if you are involved in such lending, you would have to have a Type 8 license for securities margin financing. Type 9, asset management, the world of fund management, and Type 10, providing credit rating services. The big credit rating agencies, S&P, Moody's, Fitch, they have to hold Type 10 license in Hong Kong. So those are the 10 regulated activities regulated by the Securities and Futures Commission, the SFC. But you may also have heard of the Hong Kong Monetary Authority being involved. Indeed, that regulator is as well, but the relationship is not straightforward, and we have to fully understand it for the SFC exams. So starting off with the SFC supervises companies other than AFIs, authorized financial institutions, and we'll find out what those are in a moment. And it supervises those that conduct SFC regulated activities. And we've just seen the 10 activities. Now, such companies must be licensed by the SFC and are, as such, are known as licensed corporations. So that's one of the 2 vehicles being introduced. Then on the other hand, we have authorized financial institutions who are also involved in the securities and futures industry. But AFIs, authorized financial institutions, are directly supervised by the HKMA, not the SFC. Now, all banks are authorized financial institutions, but not all authorized financial institutions are banks. Money changers, for example, are technical AFIs, not banks, and they don't get involved in SFC regulated activity. However, many banks, many authorized financial institutions do get involved in SFC regulated activities. So for those that are not conducting SFC regulated activities, we need worry no further. We see that comes to a stop. However, those that do conduct SFC regulated activities must register with the SFC, and as such are known as registered institutions. So there we have the 2 main vehicles in the world of Hong Kong securities and futures. licensed corporations, which are directly supervised by the SFC, and registered institutions, which are directly supervised by the HKMA, but are registered with the SFC so that they can conduct SFC regulated activities, the 10 activities we just considered. Now, collectively, licensed corporations and registered institutions are known as intermediaries. Now, these terms, licensed corporation, registered institution, intermediaries, are all defined in the Securities and Futures Ordinance, the legislation, and they really are must-knows for the SFC regulatory exams. Now, I've said that the supervision is direct. SFC supervises licensed corporations, HKMA supervises registered institutions. The regulation is slightly different. The SFC regulates both licensed corporations and registered institutions in the world of securities and futures. However, the HKMA only regulates registered institutions, or wider, authorized financial institutions. The HKMA, Hong Kong Monetary Authority, does not regulate licensed corporations, and that's a subtle difference. And wrapping this up with a summary, at the bottom of the slide, we're told all intermediaries are regulated by the SFC with respect to their SFC regulated activities, and the SFO, the Securities and Futures Ordinance, applies to all of them. However, registered institutions are supervised by the Hong Kong Monetary Authority, the HKMA, including application of fit and proper tests. Now, it's very rare for an SFC regulatory exam not to cover some aspect of that diagram and the terms that have been introduced. As ever, best way to prepare for the SFC exams is to do the practice questions that are on Examinator online, and a number of them will address the supervision of regulated activities.